today about Remembrance Day. I hope everyone can see the screen. Remembrance Day. Okay, so the presentation is going to last about 20 minutes. So sit back, relax, take your time, and listen carefully because at the end of the presentation, there's going to be a test or a quiz, just 10 questions. Don't worry, it's not very difficult. Okay, my first question is, does anybody know actually what remembrance mean? Or have you ever heard of Veterans Day or Armistice Day? And actually, do you know what it means? What's armistice? Don't worry, you will find out. Um, if you take a look at the picture, there's one plant. So the day is also called the Poppy Day. But do you know what they call the plant in English? Okay, you're right. It's the poppy. So what does the poppy have to do with our story today? Okay, it is connected with the First World War that, as everybody knows, happened in between 1914 and 1918. And more specifically, there's one region that is very important in our story today, and it's the Flanders region. I hope you can see the map. So the Flanders region is in Belgium. And I'm pretty sure that you remember from the history classes one town called Ypres in French, or Ypres, or Yperet. Yes, this is a place or a town where one of the worst wars in the First World War happened. And as it happened, there was a Canadian doctor and a soldier who witnessed the war, and he saw a lot of killings and dead soldiers and killings and atrocity. And one of his fellow friends or soldiers was killed in the war, and that inspired him to write a poem. And while at the battlefield, there were a lot of poppies. Those poppies inspired him to write the poem, which is called In Flanders Fields. Let me read the beginning for you. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row. That mark our place, and in the sky, the larks, so bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amidst the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt the dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. This poem became very, very successful, and actually it spread all over the world, especially in English-speaking countries. And the poppy became the symbol. Okay, so the bright red poppy was soon adopted as a symbol to remember all those who had fought in the war. Now you can see an interesting picture. Actually, I don't know if you can read it, but this is actually when the First World War finished, or to be more precise, when exactly it finished. Yeah, so you were right. It was in 1918, but the exact day was on November 11th at 11 o'clock 15 minutes. And that's when the armistice was signed. Now let's get back to the word armistice that I told you before. What is armistice? Take your time and read the definition. All right, very good. Now I'm sure you know the word. So the Remembrance Day or Armistice Day is actually the same word. Okay. Now what was decided later was that on Remembrance Day, that's on November 11th, there would be a commemoration to commemorate all the people who have died in any war in any place in the world. And it was also agreed to remain silent for 2 minutes. on November 11th at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm pretty sure you know where this picture was taken. Yes, you are right. It's in Great Britain. Now, what's interesting is that the first ceremony or commemoration ceremony was held in Great Britain in London 1 year after the end of the war, and it was held by the British King. Do you know who the British King was? Yes, correct. It was King George V. Okay. Well, actually, the wearing of poppies didn't come into being until 1921. 1921, and the customs of wearing them spread to Europe and the countries of the British Empire and Commonwealth within 3 years. But what's interesting is that in the beginning, real poppies were worn, and the brilliant red color became a symbol for the blood spilled in the war. Later on, the poppies were made from paper or maybe plastic. And the sales of those poppies, even still today, and the proceeds actually, so the money that they raise that they collect from selling them, is used to good causes. As I told you, the ceremony takes place around the world, and especially in countries that belong to the British Commonwealth. As you can see in the picture, one of the countries is Australia, Canada. And actually, in Canada is very important because if you remember, the soldier or the surgeon or the doctor came from Canada. So it's a very special day in Canada. Another country that celebrates was the former British colony, India, South Africa. What country is it? Yeah, correct. New Zealand. What about this picture? Do you know the place that you can see in the picture? Yeah, it's called the Cenotaph. And you can find it in London. Sorry about my cat. Whitehall, London. Okay. So for the United Kingdom, commemorations are held on the Sunday near the 11th day, which is called Remembrance Sunday. And in London's Whitehall, the ceremonial placing of wreaths are the red things that you can see on the ground on the floor. It all takes place at a stone structure, this stone structure that you can see in the picture. Which brings me to ask you a question. What about the Czech Republic? What happens on November 11th, apart from St. Martin? Do you think we should celebrate this Remembrance Day? Okay, let me know. I'm really interested in your opinion. So if you want to give me a message or if you want to write an essay or whatever, use my email address. I'm really curious to know your opinions. Okay, good. Now, if you've been listening carefully, this is going to be a piece of cake for you to answer the following 10 questions. So, I'll give you a few seconds to read the questions. I need to use the correct answer, A, B, or C. And the last question, there is also D. Okay? Get your pen or pencil, a piece of paper. Get ready. And read the first question. Well, I'll read it for you, okay? So number 1. Remembrance Day is celebrated on the 11th of October, the 12th So not October, November, of course. The 11th of November, the 12th of November, the 13th of November. Question 2. This Memorial Day is observed in European countries, Commonwealth countries, the United States of America. Yeah, correct. At 11 a.m. on Remembrance Day, you are supposed to stop whatever you're doing, if you can do it safely, of course. Bow your head and stay silent. How long are you supposed to stay quiet? Is it 1 minute? Is it 2 minutes or 5 minutes? Yeah, correct. Easy. Number 4. Who wrote the poem In Flanders Fields? Was it Winston Churchill? Woodrow Wilson? I'm pretty sure you know he was an American president. And John McCrae. Yeah, correct. Easy. Number 5. In which country can you find Flanders Fields? Is it in France? Is it in Belgium? Or is it in England? Correct. Number 6. Who held the first commemoration ceremony in London in 1919? Was it King George V, the King Edward VIII, or the King George VI? I know, it's a piece of cake. Good. Number 7. What is armistice? Is it a peace agreement? Is it a fight? Is it ceremony? A ceremony. Sorry about the article. Number 8. If you listen carefully, now you should know when people first started wearing poppies. So when did people first start wearing poppies? Was it in 1919? 1 year after the end of the First World War? Or was it in 1920? Or was it probably in 1921? Correct. What does the bright red color of the poppy symbolize? Is it the blood spilled in the war? Is it hope? Or is it love? Okay. And the last question is, Remembrance Day is also known as Armistice Day, Veterans Day, Poppy Day, or is it all of the above? Correct. Now you're going to see the key or the answer. So check it out. Okay. I hope you all pass with flying colors with no mistakes. So usually at the end of my presentation, I ask my students to ask me questions, but I'm sorry. This is like a silent presentation, so I can't see you. I can't hear you. But if you do have any questions, use my email address and ask me or write me a message. Okay? No more questions. So thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you very much. But before I finish, let me invite you for next webinar, which is going to take place next Tuesday on November 17th. and it starts again at 8 o'clock in the morning. And you're going to listen to, and it's pretty sure, it's pretty obvious, November 17th. And the presentation will be done by Chris Edens. Okay, so thank you again for your attention, and I hope to see you soon again. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay, now you can read the chat.
Digo, ser un asmino. We have about 2 or 3 more minutes, so if you